Welcome to This Just In, the show bringing you the latest advancements in healthcare, strategy, innovation, and public policy. And now, for the fastest voice in healthcare, here's your host, Justin Barnes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the special edition of This Just In Radio. I'm your host, Justin Barnes. Today we're broadcasting live from HIMSS26 in sunny Las Vegas. Very excited to be here, and it's already been an action-packed 36 hours since I landed. This is actually my 12th year in a row broadcasting live from the HIMSS annual conference, and I am more excited than ever. Love this lineup. I'll get to it here in a moment as well. This is actually my 26th HIMSS annual conference, and I cannot imagine missing any of these at this juncture. Hal Wolf and the entire HIMSS team have been extremely supportive, and I'm so grateful. As most of my listeners know, HIMSS is a very special organization overall. And I want to take a moment, a quick note about this annual conference and the HIMSS Society in general. It can be everything that you want it to be. And I say that from the perspective that you'll absolutely get out of HIMSS what you put into it. This goes for relationships in general in life. But whatever you put in, you'll absolutely get out. And that's what I love about HIMSS and what it affords me. And I actually achieved my annual business goals early in the year because of HIMSS annual conference. This specific forum brings together tens of thousands of industry leaders and affords everyone that truly puts the effort in to achieve their goals. It is an 8-week frenzy for me and my team, but we'll host 3 live radio shows, host 3 large dinner events, co-host 4 receptions, and take in a very fun evening at the Sphere on Thursday. And even at this point in my career, and as you know, Roberta, I'm still hustling. It's a lot of personal work and outreach to bring together 300 plus people over 4 days, but absolutely worth it. And a special note here also, HIMSS is powered by its members and chapters. They are the foundation that drives innovation, connection, and impact across healthcare. I highly encourage you, my listeners, to join your local chapter, get involved, and be part of the community shaping the future of health. And I want to also take a special moment here and note a thanks to my producer, Roberta Mullen, my co-producer, Jake Reed, my other producer, Greg Masters, for their support in helping produce these HIMSS broadcasts and recordings. They are always terrific, and I'm truly appreciative of the time they invest to make this show a success. For this specific broadcast series, though, I have a fantastic lineup of CEOs, CIOs, care providers, innovators, policy leaders, and visionaries. Here's a glimpse. Hal Wolf, President and CEO of HIMSS, Anish Chopra, we all know Anish, Rasu Shrestha from Advocate, Marianne Yeager, CEO of Sequoia Project, Dr. Erica Kim from ARPA, Simon Philip Rost from GE, Nelson Gomes from Medicus IT, Charles Barkey from West Virginia Medicine Hospitals, Richard Atkins, CEO of Greenway Health, Matthew Unangst from AMD, Leah Gabbert from Nutanix, and John Henderson from Rady Children's Health. And I have a couple other special guests joining here that will be broadcasting later. But as many of you know, you've been listening to the show for years. My goal is to create an information medium that shares best practices, strategies, and actionable intelligence from the industry's leading sources and experts. My goal, along with all my guests here, will be to offer tactics and strategies to not only survive, but thrive as you navigate your hospital, your physician practice, your company, or even your family through all these changes occurring across healthcare today. There is more opportunity than ever before for all of us to thrive, but we must understand how healthcare is evolving, how policy and reimbursement is shifting, and where best practice and innovation can support our efforts. I hope you glean all of that over the next few days. That's at least my goal. Welcome back to This Just In Radio Show, broadcasting live from HIMSS26 in sunny Las Vegas. Very excited to introduce my next guest and great friend of the show, Simon Philip Rost, Chief Marketing Officer from GE Healthcare. Welcome back to the show, my good friend.
Thanks, Justin. Nice to be here again.
That's awesome. So when did you get in town? I know you had a couple of conferences over here, correct?
I've been in Vienna for the European Congress of Radiology, and then I came here on Sunday, actually.
Okay.
Basically from the not so warm region to the warmer one. Yeah.
Right. Well, so you're getting acclimated pretty quickly then. That's impressive to fly from Europe over here, and that's pretty good.
I mean, the jet lag hits us when we go back. Basically.
Right.
Yeah. Coming here is easier. We win a day.
Yep.
Going back likely on Friday will hit me. Yeah.
Gotcha. So before we dive into the questions, I assume it's been you've been here like 36 hours or a little bit more, but tell me about what you've been able to achieve and some fun you're having.
I mean, the good thing I like in these kind of conferences to go, what we call go to Gemba, talk to customers, right?
Absolutely.
We just had one of our largest customers from Korea visiting us. We had already good conversations with a lot of US-based customers. I mean, that's what I take out of these shows, to really understand the pulse of our customers.
Absolutely. So diving in, first question, what must our healthcare leaders or healthcare leaders in general get right now that's occurring in healthcare?
Directly the $1 million question up front.
Exactly. Boom.
I mean, Justin, I believe that this problem that we have to solve is to break down these data silos within healthcare systems.
Yes.
Right? If you see right now the average hospital has more than 16 systems. There's one for radiology, there's one for cardiology, another one for pathology. On top of that, you have the electronic medical record. I mean, the data cannot flow, right? And if we want to leverage at the end the data to inform artificial intelligence to help us, this is the most challenging part we have to change. It's an evergreen. We talk about this since years, but I still think it's the first thing that we should get right.
Yep. Absolutely true. And one of my previous guests was Marianne Yeager from Sequoia Project, which she works on unleashing interoperability, creating standards here. Oh, it's also globally, but certainly here in the US, but really important that we do get this interoperability, we break down these silos. And also all this progress with AI cannot be enabled if we don't have access to data and good data and data sharing. And trust.
I mean, if the data is not flowing, basically AI will not be able to unfolds the full potential.
Exactly. So take a second. What are some of the highlights? Do you guys have any, and we didn't talk about this off air, and I did not send you this question, but what is GE Healthcare, what are some of the big announcements, or what's the biggest announcement that we're going to do here at HIMSS26 that you're excited about?
I mean, we just released on Monday our press release for our Genesis View. That's our new part of our radiology workspace. Basically, it's cloud first.
Okay.
It is zero footprint, and it's part of a basically solution that helps you to first bring efficiency, and secondly help you to make more qualitatively informed diagnosis.
Excellent. Love it.
And just on Monday, we announced that if you want to see the press release, it came out on Monday, basically.
Perfect. Thank you, Simon. So what measurable impact are you seeing in healthcare, and kind of beyond pilots, but at scale? What kind of ROI that you're seeing, tangible ROI out there for digital health or AI?
I mean, look, I think we are shifting away from the discussion where we said, hey, what is the AI doing, towards exactly this kind of impact it can deliver. I mean, you hear this more and more. And let's take imaging as an example. If you take our radiology workspace, it starts off with basically a tool that helps you to say, hey, Justin is the experienced radiologist, give him the difficult head scan. Simon is a newbie, he should look at the fracture. So it's assigning basically the exam based on the qualities of the radiologist, right? Then we have AI built into the process where we automatically could measure lesions, where we basically embed the algorithm into the reading experience. And we also have the AI at the end in the reporting, helping to automate certain parts. We see basically improvements of double-digit percentages if you see it throughout the workflow, basically, in productivity.
Absolutely. I love it. Before I go to my next question, you post a lot of great best practices around AI globally. Why don't we take a minute, so we have time, what are some of the best practices that you would share with my audience around how to successfully deploy AI, even at scale? I mean, obviously we have best practices on when to start it and where to kind of pick a pilot, but if you were with some ideas that you just mentioned at scale and how to do it right.
I mean, look, for me, the governance model, not very sexy, but it's a very important one. A very important one you have to align with. First, you have to choose the right partner. Right. These are not like point partnerships. These are long-term partnerships normally. That's the first session. Then, secondly, you have to align on joint KPIs, on joint key performance indicators that you want to measure and you want to live up to. You have to choose also the right business model behind that. And then something that I see more and more important that is not really talked about too much is to increase the amount of digital literacy within the workforce of the healthcare professionals. I mean, in the large institutions, they have the capabilities, but if we take the average hospitals, sometimes you need to build those. And the, let's say, the digital literacy, AI literacy, is a big one that we many times don't speak about. So the companies that invest at the end in their employees, into education, into skills, likely will be the one that drive adoption faster than others.
very academic, because you're the first person to bring that up on air, but I was in Stanford last year, and part of my classes was about digital literacy. It was very important. They're talking about it from an academic standpoint, but advice to us entrepreneurs and how to enable our organizations to scale in a digital world empowered by AI. So, yeah.
I would even add that there has never been a time better to upskill yourself like right now. If you take the generative AI algorithms, they help you to consume information way faster, right? And by the way, a lot of the offers out there are for free in terms of costs, right? Even there's a program called Hello AI that is backed up by us, for example, where we work with different entities, and you can join that for free to understand how AI is used in healthcare, what are the use cases, what are the adoption metrics you should put on top, how can you upskill yourself, right? And that's something very exciting at this point in time.
I love it. Great advice, Simon. Fantastic. So, next question. How do we keep healthcare human in an AI world?
I mean, if you ask me, AI will help us to be more human in healthcare. I'm a firm believer of that, right?
Agreed.
Because AI can take like the busy work out of the process and help healthcare professionals to focus on the things that they do best, right? Which is trust, empathy, diagnosis, right? But there is, you mentioned this before, there is a caveat that you have to implement it well, right? And there are various things to that. One is you have to not disrupt the way of working, right? You have to not think point solution, but end-to-end process. So that's one of the biggest things that need to happen, I believe, is that we should think less in departmental IT, more in basically enterprise-wide solutions, platforms, so to say, that cover the entire patient journey. So think less department, think more basically patient journey in this kind of efforts.
Yes. So let's take a second, because you also brought up governance. It's not sexy, but I actually talk about governance a lot. Actually, just wrote some white papers on it, because it's so critically important to organizations. Certainly, as you scale, you want to scale with AI, and you have agents and a lot going on. And you know, governance is a very big term. Take 30 seconds to talk about, offer maybe a best practice or your thoughts and feelings on how people can get governance right.
Yeah, that's also not the easiest one, but I think it starts already in the product development process. Basically, you have to get the user's feedback into the process early on, right? And we do this, for example, through a medical advisory board, where we say, hey, before we launch products to the market, it has to go through the hands and eyes of these individuals to basically be released. I think it's to assign the right stakeholders.
Yep. Excellent.
Second point, which I think is very important, I mentioned this before, you have to think what is our joint metrics we aim for, and this has to be a feasible one, and that's one that is achievable, right? We normally, in our case, distinguish between leading and lagging indicators, some that help you towards the process and one that is backward looking. And then I also believe that this kind of trust is built by keeping your say-do ratio high.
Excellent.
So a boss of mine once said, trust is built by doing small commitments and then fulfilling them, right? And that's also a big one here. And it has to be a very structured approach. Again, it needs to be something that is kind of a rigorous process that you implement. These are the four things I would mention there.
No, excellent. Great advice. So in closing, what must we get right in the next 3 years in healthcare?
Okay. I mean, that's the first one I mentioned was my first point, interoperability. We still have too many disparate systems that don't talk to each other. This has to be a main focus. So basically, interoperability needs to be the innovation of this decade. The second one you mentioned, trust. An AI algorithm, a digital tool only uses if the person who's using it understands how it comes together, what kind of data it uses, and how it takes certain kind of decisions. The third one is workflow integration. I truly believe if you have a process that is not working and you put on top of that AI, it will not be better, it will likely get even worse, right? So there it's very important to integrate the AI seamlessly into the process. In best case, you don't even notice that it's working. And the last one is, again, digital literacy. I believe if people know how to use technology, like AI, like digital tools, if they know the pros, the cons, and the risks, adoption will be way easier. I mean, these are the four things. Connected data, trust, workflow integration, digital capabilities. These are the 4 ones I would mention that we have to get right in the next 3 years.
Absolutely true. I love it. Great advice there. Great facts there too. So, looking out over the rest of the year, what other conferences are you looking at? This is obviously one of the bigger ones on our radar screen. But what else do you look for, or you're going to attend later on this year globally?
Globally, we have SIM coming up. That's one for us. That's very important. Then in Europe, where I'm based, we have HIMSS Europe as well. We have also Health Europe, which are 2 ones. That's interesting. And then for us, all of the deep clinical expertise conferences like RSNA at the end of the year, also a big show. ECR just happened. These are the ones that we are going towards. And then we also try to look more about the tech conferences as well, right? For example, our CEO of our business unit, he speaks at NVIDIA in a couple of months. These are also interesting ones to look at.
Yeah, excellent. So in closing, what's, I guess, one thing that you guys, your goals for GE Healthcare, your goals for HIMSS26, what would you say the number one goal? Obviously, there's engaging our customers, engaging prospects, sharing innovation, sharing what we're doing, encouraging. What would you say your overall goal is? I know it's a tougher question. But.
I mean, there are various ones. As I run marketing, I also have a clear lead target that I want our sales reps to achieve. So that's one. Yeah. Then also for our own employees to come together and
how many people do you guys have here?
We have roughly, I would say, 45 to 50 people all over here. Yeah. That's the second one. And then for me, the most important one is listening to customers, learning from them, basically. And the side, let's say, if I find time to see some of the sessions, that's also appreciated. But for now, I didn't do that. These are the 3 things I think are important.
Yeah. Excellent. Simon Philip Rost, thank you for joining me, my good friend, as always. Thank you.
Thanks, Justin.
You got it. Have a great rest of your show. Thanks.